Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the pod. I am excited about today's topic because I feel like it's a good one and a lot of you guys don't know about this. So I'm going to be chatting through why just rest and doing random modifications are not solving your nagging pain or doing you any favors when it comes to getting stronger, like if you're dealing with an injury. So basically, just taking rest and doing random modifications every week is not a strategy. It's a matter of you just trying to put out the fires and get through your workout, okay? And if your solution is just avoiding anything that feels uncomfortable, swapping it for something else, it's not really going to work, okay? So here's the thing. Resting feels good in the short term, and if you are very flared up, rest is probably a good move till you calm down, but it doesn't solve why you're dealing with the pain in the first place. And if you have been listened to anything that I have said before, or have read my content for any length of time, you know I am really big on not guessing and getting to the root of why you're feeling the way that you are. And here's why. Because I have worked with so many people over the past 5 years, specifically on getting out of pain. And a common thread for them is they're modifying. They don't know why they're dealing with the pain, but there's always a reason. I'm usually able to find a lot of puzzle pieces in my assessment that helps put together the picture of, oh, here's why your knee has been hurting for the past 5 years. You also have this going on in your foot, this going on in your hip. One leg is stronger than the other. Like, there's usually multiple things that come up and like reasons behind why you're dealing with your issue. But you don't know you have no idea what that is because you're just doing all these modifications. And like, if you're not addressing the real things of why your knee is in this place in the first place, you're not going to get better and it's going to stick around. And so like, I feel like a lot of people just keep their head in the sand when it comes to this type of stuff. And it's like, well, it's fine. Well, if you want to get rid of it, it's really not fine, right? And so, yeah, and like just resting for extended periods of time, beyond a flare-up. I'm not talking about a flare-up, but like if you just avoid workouts for a while, avoid strength training for a while, all you're doing is getting weaker, which is not helping your situation. And it keeps you stuck in this like rest until it feels better. Then you return to your normal training, but then the pain comes back and it keeps you stuck in this loop where you're not really going anywhere. And you're going to get frustrated after a while because it's like, oh, this just won't go away, right? Like, so anyways, the next trap that people can fall into is this modification trap. Swapping exercises every week without a real plan without a plan or a knowing of like why we're having to swap it out, And here's why this becomes problematic. Over the years, I have seen so many people fall into this never-ending modification trap, and they're not addressing why they can't do those movements in the first place. Okay. And I'm not talking about super advanced movements. I'm talking about doing like a squat, right? Everybody should be able to do a squat. Okay. And if you're not able to do that without issue, let's say you just stop squatting and you do these other movements, many other movements, and you just skip squatting all the time. Well, what does that solve? Nothing. You're just getting weaker in the squatting pattern, right? And in your real life, when you need to do a squat, you're not really going to be able to do it very well or feel strong in it because you stopped training it. And so I think you understand what I'm getting at here is that like avoiding things and sticking your head in the sand and just modifying all the time, it's not the answer. And you're going to end up frustrated. You're going to end up inconsistent in the gym, and you're going to just not trust your own body because you're going to be scared you're going to end up in pain or, always second guessing what you're doing. Now, if you want to know what actually works is a thorough assessment of why you are feeling the way that you are. And I don't mean a quote unquote assessment where somebody's like, oh, let me watch you squat. Can you do a push-up? Can you do a deadlift? No, I mean, we're looking joint by joint, your flexibility and mobility, what's going on. Without this, you're just guessing. You don't even know what is all involved in why your knee feels that way or your back or whatever it is. Because here's the other thing. Like 98% of the time, it's not just the area that you're feeling pain that you have issue with, right? Like, especially if it's honestly, if it's anything, there's always something else involved because guess what? The body is a master at compensating because the body's whole goal is to keep you safe, to keep you alive. And so if another part of the body needs to make up for a weakness, it will. And that's great for survival, but over time it can cause problems. And so it's never just like, oh, you're missing knee range of motion. No, it's usually something in your hip and in your foot, and you might have one leg stronger than the other. It's multifaceted. So that's why the specific joint by joint range of motion assessment is so huge, followed by strength testing. And I don't mean let's do your 1 rep max back squat or your 1 rep max deadlift. No, I mean like your strength side to side, upper body, lower body, and seeing like, do you have strength discrepancies? Now, we are human beings. We're not going to be perfectly even on everything. I understand that. But if you have a large discrepancy, like 50% weakness on one side compared to the other, yeah, that's contributing to your issue, okay? And so I hope that me talking through this, you're kind of seeing like, oh, I see how taking a deeper look into what's even happening in my body in the first place could give a lot of answers to what I need to be doing in the gym in order to start feeling better. And that's exactly right. Once you have a clear picture of what's going on in your body, then it's like, oh, we can create a plan specifically targeted at these weaknesses. And what do you know? You start to feel better. And this is how you get out of pain long term. This is how you get rid of those nagging knee issues or back issues for long term. You actually take a look at what your body is dealing with instead of just doing this random shit you're finding on Instagram, on YouTube. You're buying these random template programs. You don't even know if that is the issue in your body. So you're essentially just lighting your money on fire. You're wasting your time if it's not specific to you. And it's not going to be like this forever, right? Like you're not going to have to be this specific with your programming and workouts forever. The idea is you are this specific for a period of time. So until the issue, okay, sorry, Murph had a meltdown, but you need to be specific and strategic in your programming for a period of time until your strength is up, your capacity is up, you're able to do whatever you want. And then you can go back to doing these more general things, right? It's not forever, but it does need to happen in order to move through this for good instead of just kind of having to quietly deal with this in the background for years and years, okay? So it's not going to be like this forever, but it does have to be like this for a period of time if you want to get rid of this problem. And so if you are listening to this and you're like, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down, this makes sense, I would love to get a deeper dive into like what is going on with me, then you might be a good fit for doing an assessment with me. And the assessment is exactly what it sounds like. 4 days of testing where we get a complete idea of what is going on in your body. I write up a summary and tell you this is what's going on. This is why you're feeling the way that you are. And here are the suggestions to move towards feeling better. And if you're somebody who's like, hey, I want an assessment and a plan, I have an 8-week offer coming out that gives you exactly that. It includes all the assessment and testing, but also I write you 8 weeks of customized programming for you to follow based on your testing. So if you were somebody who's like wants to try me out, who just wants something to move you in the right direction, but it needs to be custom to your body, this is the offer for you. I am linking up the details in the description, and you can also send me a message on Instagram or email me if you have any questions, want more details, all of that jazz. So more will be coming out about this, but for now, thanks for listening and talk to you next time.